I was spending Thanksgiving at my parents' house last week. We ate dinner, we visited for a bit, then I decided, hey, it's time to go home. Of course, my dad was trying to get me to stay the night so I wouldn't drive home so late, but it was only a 2-hour drive. Plus, I had to get back to my dog Max. As I pulled into the driveway, the clock on the radio showed 3 a.m. Hey, I made pretty good time, I said to myself. I forgot how there's like zero traffic in the middle of the night. I got out of my car and I noticed that none of the lights were on in the house. Even the porch light was out. This is weird because I always leave the porch light on. I just assumed it burned out, shrugged it off, and unlocked my front door. As I walked into the house, I was taken back again because my alarm for some reason was not beeping for me to disarm it. I was so exhausted by this time, all I could think about was getting into my bed. So I began to walk down my dark hallway and I could hear Max. He started letting out this deep growl. I guess he doesn't know it's me because it's pitch black in the house. So I quickly flicked on the light switch and I looked down and saw Max looking back at me. Come here, boy, Mom is home. He started showing his teeth now and continued to growl at me, so I began walking towards him slowly as to not startle him. I got within just a few feet of Max when my body locked up. I was frozen in fear. Max wasn't looking at me. He was looking behind me.
Yesterday, my wife took my daughter to the beach for the weekend for her 6th birthday. They won't be back for a couple of nights, so I can go ahead and get my daughter's gift out of the truck and wrap it now. She wanted this special limited edition doll that initially cost a small fortune. The store went out of business due to a lawsuit from some freakish accident in the warehouse, so luckily I was able to get one of the last ones for a huge discount. I went to my truck, opened the gate, pulled the oversized box out of the bed, and proceeded to take it into the house. Once I set it down on the living room floor, I opened it up and saw this really eerie doll with a creepy grin on its face, staring right back at me. I noticed the doll's entire body was wrapped in layers upon layers of bubble wrap, and I didn't really feel like unraveling that all tonight, so I just left it on, taped the box flap shut, and neatly covered the doll box in gift wrapping paper. When I was done, I looked over at the clock and realized it was almost 3 a.m, so I decided I needed to go to bed. I turned the TV off, went to the bedroom, lied in bed, and began to close my eyes. That's when I could hear the popping sound of bubble wrap coming from the living room.
I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth just before bedtime when I felt a slight breeze. Looking in the mirror, I noticed the window to our bathroom was cracked. I asked my husband Russell if he left the window open for some reason. He said he didn't, but he is such a scatterbrain, he most likely left it open and forgot. So I slipped on my PJs and quietly crawled into bed. Russell leaned over and gave me a kiss on the cheek, whispered in my ear, "I love you, honey," then rolled over and we peacefully drifted off to sleep. I was awakened abruptly around 3 a.m. to Russell's voice calling my name from behind the closed bathroom door. I groaned a little, rubbed my eyes, and proceeded to get out of bed. Just as I was about to put my feet on the floor, I felt an unsteady hand grab my shoulder from behind.
"Don't go in the bathroom,"
Russell said in a panicked voice.
"That wasn't me." Ever since I started reading this new murder mystery novel, it has been so difficult to put down. I love the main character and completely relate to him. He loves to fish, play golf, and go camping, which are literally my favorite things to do. He even has my same name, John. I know those are probably the most common hobbies for a man my age, and John's the most common name, but he's also a lawyer, has 3 sons, and a really naggy wife, just like me. Although I shouldn't complain, she did just bring me a piece of pie for a late night snack. Anyways, I had to know the ending, so I continued to read to the very last page. As I closed the book, I thought, poor bastard, John's wife ended up poisoning him to collect his life insurance money. Not the ending I was expecting, but I still enjoyed the story. I stretched and let out a yawn and looked over at the clock on the wall. Couldn't believe it was 3 a.m. As I got up from my chair, I noticed a sharp pain in my stomach that was a little unsettling, so I went to put the book down on the nightstand next to the only thing we got in the mail that day. Probably another stupid bill. Money's been a little tight lately, so obviously I was a little irritated, but went ahead and opened it anyways. When I unfolded the paper, I started to read it and was a little confused, but then I looked down at the plate of pie crumbs and... damn it. It was a letter from our insurance company, confirming the increase in my life insurance policy.
So I've been having a lot of creepy nightmares lately. Just 2 nights ago while I was asleep, I heard a knocking at the front door of my house. I went to the door, I opened it, and I saw nothing there. I closed the door shut and immediately woke up in a pool of my own sweat. Last night it was very similar. I went to bed, heard what sounded like fingernails scratching at my bedroom door. I rushed to the door, opened it, and again, nothing. And just like the night before, I immediately woke up covered in sweat. I just took 2 sleeping pills, so let's hope I get a little better sleep tonight. Whoa, what is that? It sounds like it's coming from inside my room. I opened my eyes, looked at the clock on my nightstand, and it read 3 a.m. Suddenly, I felt something grab my legs, pull me onto the floor. I tried to get up, but I was restrained. I looked down towards my feet, and I saw this dark figure with glowing red eyes. The figure smiled at me, revealing these 2 long, sharp fangs. I started screaming, and then I woke up. Thank God, I thought to myself. I turned over to my side, and to my horror, the numbers on the alarm read 2:59. That's when I heard the slow creaking sound of a door opening.